Hi guys, I wanted to actually do another video on the quadratic formula where we're providing the approximate decimal answer because I saw that some of you didn't get that done on your work. So I would like for you, once you watch this video, hopefully your questions will be answered. Please reach out if you're still confused, but hopefully you can get that done and make that work up if you missed it. Some of you missed that part of the example. So I'm going to do this problem with you, and I'm going to show you how you would provide the approximate decimal answer, like they're asking on Delta Math. They ask this sometimes if they want the problem to the nearest 10th or 100th or whatever. We'll do nearest 10th. So let's just write that in parentheses, nearest 10th. And they'll be like asked like solve for W or whatever the variable is, solve for X. In this case it's W. So if this is being used by quadratic formula, we have to first set the quadratic equal to 0. So notice how it's not set equal to 0, it's set equal to 9. So I need to turn the 9 into a negative 9. 9 minus 9 will give us a 0 on that side. But whatever I do to the left, I have to do to the right. So I'm going to do minus 9 on the left. Now the thing with the minus 9 on the left is that it has nobody to combine with, so it kind of just attaches on. And it leaves us with 2w squared minus 4w minus 9. All right, so now I have to figure out what my a, b, and c are for my equation. So a is 2, it's the number in front of x squared, or in this case, w squared. B is negative 4, it's the number in front of the x, or in this case, the w. And then c is the constant, negative 9. Again, it changed to a negative 9 because we had to subtract 9 on both sides for it to be in standard form. All right, so now that I know what a, b, and c are, I'm going to use my quadratic formula, which is this, and I'm going to substitute. All right, again, it's x equals, but we're finding w, same thing, just a different letter. All right, so we're gonna do x equals negative b. Remember, negative b is the opposite of b. So if b is already negative, we're gonna change the sign to a positive. We always make it the opposite sign. Plus or minus the square root of b squared. So now I have to do negative 4 squared. All right, so negative 4 squared would be negative 4 times negative 4, so that'd be 16. All right, what I can also do for that is I can do in my calculator, negative 4 squared. Just make sure there's parentheses around it, because if you do negative 4 squared like that, you won't get the right answer. That's wrong right here, okay? You could also just do negative 4 times itself, because that's what squaring a number is. It's just multiplying it by itself. So either way, it's 16 minus 4 times a times c. So I'm going to do 4 times what times what? So a is 2, so 4 times 2 times negative 9, which is c. All right, so that's the top. And then the bottom is going to be 2 times a, so 2 times 2, which we know is 4. We can change that later if we want. All right, so remember from the other video, you would have to figure out what is underneath the radical by putting it into the calculator. So I'm going to type in 16 minus 4 parentheses 2 parentheses negative 9, giving me 88. So it's the square root of 88. So it's 4 plus or minus the square root of 88, because that's what is underneath the radical. Keep the square root, don't do the square root in the calculator yet. And then over 4, because 2 times 2 is 4. All right, so far we've learned to just leave it like that. We're going to learn eventually how to simplify the radical if possible, which was your lesson from Friday. But I wanted to go over this again with you, how to find the approximate answers. So let's just do the approximate answers right now. There are going to be 2 answers. Remember, it's going to be the one with the plus sign, 4 plus the square root of 88 over 4, or minus, so 4 minus the square root of 88 over 4. So those are my answers. I have to figure out what they are approximately. So that's where my calculator comes in again. All right, so I'm going to go into my calculator and type alpha y equals, to get my fraction, it's 4 plus the square root of 88. Again, 4 plus second x squared, 88 to get the radical, over 4. That's my decimal. I have to take that decimal and round it to the nearest tenth. So it'd either be 3.3 or 3.4. Well, behind the 3 is a 4, so it's going to round down to 3.3. It's not going to go up because it's under 5. All right, so this would be 3.3. Or I have to now look for my other one and plug that into the calculator and see what I'm getting there. So let me do that. What I can do is I can retype it again by going to alpha y equals, or I can just go up actually, because if I do that, I can just change this to a minus, because that's really the only difference between this and this. It's just the minus sign in between. I'm going to change that to a minus and I'll get a different answer. So this answer is negative 1.34, so that's approximately negative 1.3. So that would be my other solution. All right, so those are my two answers when they're asking for approximate. All right, on delta now, when you're providing your answer, you have to write both the answers in, and they don't want it to be like x equals form. What they want you to do is see where it has the plus sign here? Click that. If you click that, look what happens. It gives you a space to put one answer and then the other answer. All right, and then once you submit it, you'll see if you got it right. That's how you do these, okay? So that's how you would do quadratic formula with decimal answers. Hope this helped.